When they see this man's house on fire, you don't hear these little Negroes talking about our government is in trouble. They say the government is in trouble. Imagine a Negro, our government. I even heard one say our astronauts. They won't even let him their plan. And our astronauts, our Navy. That's a Negro that's out of his mind. That's a Negro that's out of his mind.
Just as the slave master of that day used Tom, the house Negro, to keep field Negroes in check. The same old slave master today has Negroes who are nothing but modern Uncle Toms, 20th century Uncle Toms, to keep you and me in check, keep us under control, keep us passive and peaceful in non-violence. That's Tom making you non-violent. It's like when you go to the dentist and the man is going to take your tooth. You're going to fight him when he starts pulling. So they squirt some stuff in your jaw called Novocaine to make you think they're not doing anything to you. So you sit there and coach all that Novocaine in your jaw, you suffer peacefully. Blood running all down your jaw. And you don't know what's happening. Because someone has taught you to suffer peacefully. The white man does the same thing to you in the street. When he want to put knocks on your head and take advantage of you and don't have to be afraid of fighting back. To keep you fighting back, you get these old religious Uncle Toms to teach you and me, just like Novocaine, suffer peacefully. Don't stop suffering, just suffer peacefully. As Reverend Priest pointed out, let your blood flow in the streets. This is a shame. And you know he's a Christian preacher. If it's a shame to him, you know what it is to me. Because nothing in our book, the Quran, as you call it Quran, teaches us to suffer peacefully. Our religion teaches us to be intelligent. Be peaceful, be courteous, obey the law, respect everyone. But if someone puts his hand on you, send him to the cemetery. That's a good religion. In fact, that's an old-time religion. That's the one that Mom and Pa used to talk about. An eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth, and a head for a head, and a life for a life. That's a good religion. And then anybody, no one resists that kind of religion being taught but a wolf who intends to make you his meal. This is the way it is with the white man in America. He's a wolf, and you're a sheep. Anytime a shepherd, a pastor, teach you and me not to run from the white man. And at the same time, teachers don't fight the white man. He's a traitor to you and me. Don't lay down our life all by itself. No. Preserve the life. It's the best thing you got. And you got to give it up. Let it be even Stevie. The slave master took Tom and dressed him well and fitting well, and even gave him a little education. Gave him a long coat and a top hat, and made all the other slaves look up to him. Then he used Tom to control them. The same strategy that was used in those days is used today by the same white man. He takes a Negro, so-called Negro, make him prominent, build him up, publicize him, make him a celebrity, and then he becomes a spokesman for Negro and a Negro leader.
Mr. Moderator, our distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, our friends and our enemies.
Ladies and gentlemen, we
Woohoo! Salaam Alaikum. Family, friends, foes, haters, and hateettes. Welcome back to the Feachaz. I greet you all in peace and love with no hatred in my heart. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So before we begin, please like, please subscribe, and please share. As you know, we got a hell of a lot of haters up in this piece, baby. Family, first of all, thumbs up if the sound is good. If y'all can hear me loud and clear, give me the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Like, subscribe, share. Hit me up on Patreon, family. And of course, we got a doozy today. I mean, there were a bunch of topics I wanted to cover. The reason I haven't been on for a while is because, I'm dealing with quite a few things with my kids and university and college and all kind of stuff. It's getting really busy right now, right? So, but anyways, there are no shortage of topics, and I think this one is very important because this particular video was making the rounds. And it was kind of, this small video was going viral with regards to the Nation of Islam. And another brother, he had sent me some video about another Sufi cult. And we touched up on this particular topic with regards to black folks and cults and falling into this cultish behavior and all these different cults that we have as black people. I don't see any other folks having more cults than us. You know what I mean? And now it is like an epidemic. It's just out of control. Okay. But anyways, before we get into the video that I had seen, right, I want to show you something from way back with regards to the Nation of Islam and Louis Farrakhan. Now, we had said several times here that the Nation of Islam, like Louis Farrakhan, he's about to pass away. I think he's 91 years old right now. And when he passes, there's going to be a massive void in leadership, which is an opportunity for Muslims to actually make dawah to the nation, right? Because they tend to have a lot of good qualities in terms of chivalry and hard work and cleanliness and good moral high moral standards, these type of things, right? But they definitely don't have anything with regards to Islamic knowledge. And right now we are in a position, well, not we, but rather the Nation of Islam is in a position right now where there are people actually gunning for Minister Louis Farrakhan's, seat. They're gunning for it right now. A few years back, there was this whole, you could say kind of like a mutiny that was going on within the nation because of Louis Farrakhan and, basically accepting Scientology. And we covered this way back in the day, right? But the point is, right? The point is that one of the ministers, I believe I think Louis Farrakhan's son or something. I'm not quite sure. I think it is one of his sons. Maybe y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But before we get into that video, let's get into this one video here. Let me just cue this up, right? Where we have Louis Farrakhan and Wardi Muhammad, okay? So let me just cue this up first so that y'all can see what I'm talking about, okay? Like, subscribe, share, hit me on Patreon. Before we begin, y'all, I want to see the thumbs up y'all can hear. Nobody gave me a thumbs up yet. Just put thumbs up in the chat if y'all can hear, okay? If the sound is all right. Press number ones in the chat if the sound is okay. And as well as, family, now what we're going to look at here, like, first of all, we don't consider the Nation of Islam as Muslims, right? We don't consider them as Muslims. And at the same time, it's generally easy to make dawah to people in the nation anyway. In my experience anyways. Many people that we know that have become Muslim through the nation, such as Imam Siraj, okay, and other people like that. Or many people came through the nation, okay. But however, now you find the people after Louis Farrakhan, because they're gunning for this vacant position. You find them becoming a little bit on the extreme side and the dogmatic behavior. Okay. And I'm seeing some things, we know that the nation, they have some funny beliefs when it comes to whatchamacallit, creed and whatnot. They got some funny beliefs, right? This is like, it's not it's not new news, right? But even for them, okay, all right. And anyways, we're gonna have a look at this old video with Warthi Muhammad, right, who is Elijah Muhammad's son, and Louis Farrakhan, who's getting interviewed. This is an old video. Some of y'all might remember this from back in the day when, basically Louis Farrakhan was invited by this, I think he's a Pakistani brother, to explain his beliefs and because, many people try to reach out to Farrakhan, okay? So we're just going to watch this first, fam, so we can set this up. Okay, like, subscribe, share, me up on Patreon. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's get down to it, baby.
Say that I thank Allah so much for the man that came to try to put us on the road to Islam. The starting point is not the finishing point. The starting point is letting us know that we have a journey. Master Farad Muhammad told us to accept our own and to be ourselves. We know that he, a human being born February 26, 1877, is not the originator of the heavens and the earth.
So let me just turn up the volume here. I'm going to rewind that one more again. And listen to what he says. Listen to what he said about Farad Muhammad. Let's go.
We know that he, a human being born February 26, 1877, is not the originator of the heavens and the earth, but the...
So the reason why he's prefacing like this is because he understands Tawheed. Make no mistake, okay? Louis Farrakhan understands Tawheed. He knows very well what it is. He's not ignorant of Tawheed. He's not even ignorant of who Allah actually is. He knows very well who he is. But he got to preface this to try to justify the shirk that the Nation of Islam is making. You get it? That's why he's prefacing it first. Likewise, you will find Sufis, they do be doing the same thing. And we're going to see that in a minute anyways, right? But they've been doing the same thing. They understand what Tawheed is. But in their mind, they have to rationalize their shirk before they get into Tawheed. You get it? So him saying that we know that some man born in 18 and whatever he was born in, Master Farad Muhammad, right? We know that he's not the originary creator of heaven and earth. This is like Tawheed proper, right? Nobody born of a woman can be the creator and originator of heavens and earth, right? But let's keep watching what he got to say, family.
Good that we gained from his 3 years and 4 months among us was that he raised from among us a man that would get us started in a process that even though the Islamic world would have liked to have helped us, and many Muslims came to try to help us, they didn't have the right methodology and approach for the condition that we were in. Farad Muhammad developed a methodology, strange as it seems, unorthodox as it seems, even poisonous as it may seem, yet it was a prescription that started bringing balance to the system, and that we...
Now, just real quickly, before we continue. Okay, there's Farad Muhammad and what he said, and then there's what Elijah Muhammad said about Farad Muhammad, okay? So what Farad Muhammad was saying it's very different than what Elijah Muhammad was teaching. And we also said that even Louis Farrakhan, he himself, he has 3 stages of his ministership within the Nation of Islam since he took over the Nation of Islam, right? He has the original stage when, the white man was a devil and things that we mentioned several times, right? And then after 1994, he ordered all the ministers to stop talking about the white man's the devil and stuff like that, and he basically toned down the messaging. He toned it down very, very a lot. And then now in his later stages, like he's more like a Baptist minister, Baptist preacher. But not once through any of those stages, not once did he ever order his ministers to worship Farrakhan Muhammad. He never ordered them to do that, even though he's saying that Master Farrakhan Muhammad is Allah in person and all this kind of stuff, right? This is shirk. This is 100% shirk, right? But he never told his folks to worship Master Farrakhan Muhammad, right? As a matter of fact, he's seen that as ridiculous. And he said this, if you will follow Farrakhan, you'll see this several times. He mentioned this, how Allah, the spirit of Allah came in the person of Master Farrakhan Muhammad, but we don't see, obviously Master Farrakhan is not the originator, he's not the creator, these type of things, right? So really, it's almost like there's in the creed or the whatchamacallit, the Aqeedah of the Nation of Islam, it's almost like there's two Allahs, right? There's the Allah that's the creator of the heavens and the earth, right? And there's the Allah that is like almost like a Christian or like a Judeo-Christian type of God that basically brings himself to earth to intervene on the affairs of human beings, like as mentioned in the Bible, when the Lord wrestled with Jacob and things of this nature, right? You get me? So, but anyways, I digress. The point is that Farrakhan Muhammad, if you go to the teachers of the Nation of Islam, what they say about Farrakhan Muhammad, they say that Farrakhan Muhammad, his father's name is Alfonso, and his mother's name is Baba G or something like that. And his father is a black man, and he met his mother in Mecca, and he was conceived in Mecca, and he had to have a color to enter into America in order to teach the black man of America about his true nature and the true nature of the white man. This is like a very summarized version of the creed of the Nation of Islam, okay? Very summarized version. That's what they say, okay? All right, so, however, none of that is true, right? Okay? Farrakhan Muhammad, right, he's actually South Asian, okay? He's a South Asian origin. And he ended up in America, and long story short, and anybody can, if you want to get more detail about this, you can check out Mr. Paul Guthrie's works, who he put in a lot of work to find out the origins of Farrakhan Muhammad and what he was teaching and things of that nature. And what he is saying is that Farrakhan Muhammad, even the saying Farad, this is not an Arabic type of linguistic. It's a South Asian linguistic in order to say Farad, right? So the South Asians, I say Farad, right? And if you look at how they talk about the Quran, they say Quran Sharif. Quran Sharif is a South Asian type of a lingo, right? So anyways, Paul Guthrie, he goes into great detail about that, right? Why is this important? What does got to do with Sufis? Right? We're going to see in a minute, okay? We're going to see in a minute, right? But let's keep watching, y'all. I know I talked a lot, but let's keep getting down. Let's keep watching, y'all.
He would evolve from a nationalistic, black thinking people into the universal message of Islam.
But just to dwell on Farrakhan Muhammad, the idea that he was the incarnation, he was God on earth,
I differed with my father.
Yes.
And I didn't want to differ with him.
Yes.
In fact, I never differed with him directly. I was told, he was told that someone heard me saying something different. Mm-hmm. So he called me to question me about it. And I told him that I could more readily believe that he was God than I could believe that his teacher was God, because his teacher was a white man, and he said white people were devils. And also I told him that I understand something from your teacher that makes me believe that he said those things, but he also left enough evidence of his real intent, and that was to bring us to the correct idea of God in Islam. And for example, my mother, when I was leaving the home one day, after my father had insisted that I accept God the way he presented God, or I was going to be cut off from all communication. He told me he knew it would hurt me to know that I wouldn't be able to see my mother. He said, you won't be able to talk to your mother, I'll see her. So I didn't change. And as I was leaving, my mother was hurt, and it hurt me to see her hurting like that. She said, she walked me to the door, which she didn't do. That was normal for her. And my father, excuse you. And she stood on the porch at the door, and she said, Wallace, why don't you go back there and accept this? Just say you believe. I said, Mama, tell me what Mr. Farad told you all. I said, did he tell you he was God? And she looked like her face went blank and looked like she didn't know what to say. In a few seconds, she said, no, he did not. Said, in fact, he told us to not even call him prophet. Said that was too big a title for him. Then I said to my mother, how can you ask your son now to accept a man as God who told you prophet was too big a title for him?
I see. So I think that is the consistent view that if Master Farad's contribution has been to.
And there we have it. Okay, for Emily, Elijah Muhammad was the one who turned Farad Muhammad into God. Okay? Elijah Muhammad was the one who started teaching this concept about Farad Muhammad being God. And by all accounts and all records, and even from the students of Farad Muhammad himself, he never taught this. As a matter of fact, he never taught Islam proper. It was questionable if he was actually a Muslim, right, Farad Muhammad. But he was definitely sincerely trying to help black folk, right? And he came at a time, because we're trying to make this connection between South Asians and black Muslims in America, is that he came at a time when Noble Drew Ali, his movement was really moving. Now, if you know anything about Noble Drew Ali, three main movements kind of spread from Noble Drew Ali, his movement, right? And that is, of course, we know the Nation of Islam, which you know he was taught to Farad Muhammad, who then sent it to Elijah Muhammad. That's the Isnad, if you will. Okay. Then you have the Moor Science Temple, which is the more popular one, and even the Moor Science Temple, that is kind of splintered into many different splinter groups. The Moor Science Temple, the Moors and whatnot, right? And then you have what is known as the Jamaat al-Muslimin, and the Jamaat al-Muslimin, they eventually went to Islam proper, like Sunni Islam, but they became Sufi. But the South Asian connection there is that from what we know from the accounts of Noble Drew Ali, he took his Islam from Mirza Ghulam Ahmed. Okay? He took his Islam from Mirza Ghulam Ahmed. He then ended up finding Farad Muhammad at the time when his version of Islam was spreading throughout Black America. And then Farad Muhammad got a hold of that and then eventually taught that version to Elijah Muhammad. You get me? So there's a South Asian connection within these cults, but we're going to go into the modern day cults, and we'll get into that in a minute, right? So let's keep watching, y'all.
Farad was sincere. That's my point.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Any Orthodox Muslim out of the 1.2 billion will readily accept that. But when there is any suggestion of something related to being God on earth, then there is difficulty. You would agree with me?
Well, let me put it to you another way. That man, Adam, was to be Allah's vicegerent,
Khalifa, yes,
on earth, Khalifa. What does that mean? That means that Adam was to act on the will of God, in the place of God, by God's command, but not to be worshipped as a God, but to show the human being what the human being could become.
Correct.
If the human being submitted to God.
The reason why I want y'all to hear that part, because he's basically making a comparison between Adam and Master Farad Muhammad, right? So he's basically saying Adam was created by God, he's created by the word of God, the spirit of God, but he's not to be worshipped as a God, which means that Master Farad Muhammad, he's implying here that Master Farad Muhammad is not supposed to be worshipped as a God. Okay, that's the implication. That's why he went through that whole type of stuff. Okay, you get me? So, why is this important? Okay, Why did we do all of this whole long thing, Bilal, to say what exactly? Now, remember what we said. That Louis Farrakhan, he's about to die. He is about to die, which means there's a massive opportunity for black Muslims to make dawah, right, when he passes. Right? But I want you to see what is happening right now as we speak within the Nation of Islam, okay? This is, hold on, let me see if I can, this is Ismail Muhammad. Okay? This is Ismail Muhammad, okay? So watch this, y'all. Watch what, what's his Minister Ismail Muhammad's got to say about worshiping Master Farad Muhammad, okay? Watch this, y'all.
White man, criminal, was the savior. The other mistake, which is the more critical and serious one, was on our foundation. Point number 12 of what the Muslims believe. When I was sharing my meeting with the imams in New York that the minister sent me to invite Imam Siraj Wahaj to deliver the khutbah at Savior's Day, and we were discussing point number 12, I said to them that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad never taught us that Master Farad Muhammad was the originator of the heavens and the earth. That's true. We know that. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I said, did not teach us to pray to Master Farad Muhammad. Wrong. In one of my lectures last year or the year before, I lifted what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in Message to the Black Man, where he taught us and directed our attention to the man, Master Farad Muhammad, for our prayers. We do pray to Master Farad Muhammad. He is Allah. Allah is his proper name, but he is Allah.
Now, this is just so sad. This is woefully, this is really, really sad. You know, Louis Farrakhan, he could put an end to this in an instant if he wanted to. He could actually get the whole nation by himself with just a few words to accept Islam proper if he really wanted to. But now it's turning into this stuff. Which one of y'all was fitting to worship Master Farad Muhammad? Who's fitting to do that? This is so sad, man. And even look at the temple. The temple is like empty, and it's like half the congregation is old fogies. You know what I mean? It is. But this is what happened now. This is what's happening with the Nation of Islam because of this power struggle. You know what I mean? And now they are just openly saying that, yes, we worship Master Farad Muhammad. You get me? Let's just sound open just like that. I started seeing this stuff actually maybe, I want to say about a year or two ago, where some of the old Nation of Islam, like, I don't know if they just joined, but there were some old folks, right? They're saying that we worship Master Farad Muhammad. I was like, what? Even some of the nation people who are in the nation was arguing with them, okay, on Facebook. They were arguing. No, we don't. Right? But anyways, there's always somebody trying to get black folks to worship some man somewhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, not space, not spirit, not the Allah of the different cycles in history. So you may say, I thought we prayed to Allah. Yes. What Allah? Allah is a man. We don't pray out to space. We were taught not to worship the flesh, but it is from the flesh that Allah is manifested from and made known. Allah is his proper name. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, I have been teaching you for 43 years that God is a man. What man?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we
You're watching the legal breakdown. Okay, so
Sorry, y'all. Forgot I still had that on. But anyways, that is so sad. That is so sad. And that Akida by itself is enough for Muslims to take the opportunity to make dawah to the nation, right? Because nobody's fitting to worship no Master Farrakhan Muhammad. I'm sorry. You have to convince yourself after 40 years or so of indoctrination that you should worship this man, Master Farrakhan Muhammad, right? Black folks are so used to worshiping people, you know, starting with Jesus, of course, you know, worshiping baby white Jesus, you know, in a manger or blonde head, blue eyed, hippie looking Jesus on a cross or whatever it is. Y'all hear me? Where are you going to find folks? You see, even if you look at Malcolm X, old Farrakhan, old Khalid Muhammad, ain't none of them was talking, not a single one of them was talking about worshiping no Master Farrakhan Muhammad. Not one. You know? And Louis Farrakhan has a lot on his plate because he's about to meet Allah, the real Allah. The law that he says is not in the sky and stuff. He's about to meet him very shortly. Okay? 91 years old. and he has the ability to fix all of this if he wanted to. So you got to ask yourself, what is preventing a person like Louis Farrakhan from fixing this? Like, why would he, you know, keep this thing going like this? Like, it's not making no sense. Well, family, we gotta call a spade, man. Louis Farrakhan, he lives very, very, very rich. Okay, he's a very wealthy dude. He is well off, well to do. And I'm not saying he didn't do no work for the black community. He did a lot of work for the black community, of course, you know, with his power products and movement and whatnot, and schools and, you know, cleaning up neighborhoods, all kinds of stuff. Like they did a lot of grassroots work, indeed. Yes, he did. But there's another element to that. If you know about Louis Farrakhan and Khalid Muhammad, that is very sus. What happened between those two? Very sus. Everybody was looking at Dr. Khalid Muhammad to be the successor to Farrakhan. Just as articulate, just as charismatic, but very, very black and very, very militant. Okay. So what's the deal, man? What is actually the deal? Well, the deal is that when you look at these type of cults and these cult movements, they have a certain pattern to them, especially when it comes to black folk in the black community. Black folks have no shortage of cults. Too many cults in the black community. Too many. If you look at today, you have the Black Hebrew Israelites. They call themselves the Hebrew Israelites. You have the indigenous Indians, right? You have the the Kemits. Now you have this entire movement of the black spirituality stuff. Like they're talking about black spirituality, how to be spiritual. Spirituality is just code for witchcraft, anyways. Okay? They're calling what it is today. Okay, spirituality is just how black people say Wicca. Okay, white folks say Wicca, black folks say spirituality. Okay. Black folks are embracing shirk all over the place. Well, guess what, family? It is no different when it comes to some of these Sufis. What do you mean, Bilal? What do you mean? Let me show y'all something, okay? Let me just get this up. The brother just sent me this little clip here. I'm going to show y'all something, all right? Did I get the clip? No, I don't think I got it. No, I didn't get the clip. Did I have the clip? No, I did get the clip. 1 second. Let me just download it. 1 second, family.
So this Murshid
Welcome
Kamil,
to Dusty Tube, otherwise known as the Feachaz, okay? Don't hate me because you ain't me, all right? This is how we do it, all right? If you don't like dust, just get a Swiffer or something, okay? You can wipe the dust off later. But this is how we do it. We do it ghetto style. 1 second, family. Just pull this thing up now. I mean, what is going on in the black community right now is really, it should be, if this type of stuff happens in any other community, it'd be civil war, okay? But black folks just take it, man. Black folks just take it, man. We are just too nice and accepting, and I want y'all to listen to this, family. Listen to this, and tell me if I'm tripping or not. Now remember, Ismail Muhammad, he just outright just said in the temple, whatever temple he's in, that we worship Master Farrakhan Muhammad. What do you say that, how do you call that in the Arabic language? You call it shirk, correct? You call it shirk, correct? It is called shirk. There's no doubt about it, right? Well, we're going to listen to Sufi proper, and I want you to tell me if there's a difference between black Sufi proper and Ismail Muhammad talking about we worship Master Farrakhan, okay? 1 second, y'all. Let me just cue this up. Listen.
So this Murshid Kamil, this sheikh is a medium between us and Allah. Many people around the world, they say, you are praising, you are worshiping, he's just a man. But we know that he is a medium between us and Allahu Rabbal Alameen, Most High.
Did you catch that? Now remember what we said. When they want to commit shirk, the first thing they do is recognize a shirk and then try to justify it. He outright said, some people may call it shirk, but we know him to be a medium between us and Allah. Who do we know? Let's listen to it one more again, because maybe some of y'all got, like me, you old and you got some crap in your ears and stuff like that. Let's listen one more again, right, shall we? One more again, because just to make sure that I ain't tripping. Okay?
So this Murshid Kamil, this sheikh is a medium between us and Allah. Many people around the world, they say, you are praising, you are worshiping, he's just a man. But we know that he is a medium between us and Allahu Rabbal Alameen, Most High.
Did you catch that? So, family, is there a difference between what he said and Ismail Muhammad said? Yes or no? In the chat, please. Just put it in the chat, please. I want to tell you, this is democracy up in the features today. Yes, there is a difference. No, there ain't no difference. They both mushrikun here. Somebody put it in the chat, please. If you say it's different, inquiring minds got to know what the difference is. Okay? Inquiring minds got to know. And we said there is a South Asian connection to all this nonsense. Y'all feeling me? Look at here. International URS Mubarak commemorates the life and legacy of Hazrat El Sheikh Sayyid Mubarak Ali Shah Jilani. Can't make this stuff up, family. Hancock, New York, USA. Scholars, honored guests, and devotees of Hazrat El Sheikh Mubarak Ali Jilani gathered from all corners of the globe 14th to 24 in Lahore, Pakistan. So looky here, family. We have Mirza Ghulam Ahmed, the founder of the Qadiani movement, who influenced Noble Drew Ali. We have Farad Muhammad, South Asian man, who influenced Elijah Muhammad. And now we have this Sayyid Mubarak Ali Shah Jilani, who's influencing this group called, what is it called? Muslims of America, something like that. Muslims of America. I have to get the name again. 1 second here. What is it called? The Muslims of America. So, the Muslims of America. That's the name of the group. Another group of black folks. There's a bunch of Negroes who are now worshiping, who are saying this side of Mubarak Ali Shah is a medium between them and Allah. Like what in the hell Cool J is going on here? What is this thing that black people have to do? Always worshiping some man somewhere. Always willing and ready and, bowing down to some man somewhere. And if it's not a white man, it's a South Asian. This is total craziness, man. Look here. Honor commemorate the third Urs Sharif making the passing of esteemed Wali, friend of Allah, of Almighty Allah. This is a friend of Almighty Allah. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that Sheikh Sayyid Mubarak Ali Shah Jilani is the friend of Almighty Allah? How do you know? The Muslims of America said it. Did you get it from the Quran? No. Did you get it from the Sunnah? No. Did you get it from, the Sahaba? No. Where'd you get it from? The Muslims of America. You can't make this nonsense up, family. You cannot make this nonsense up. I remember I was doing a live like last year sometime, and then one of the imams from the Black Imams Roundtable, although also known as the Anti-Wahhabi Coalition of Negroes, okay. I'm gonna say it one more again. The Anti-Wahhabi Coalition of Negroes. Okay. anyways, we were talking about some extreme Sufis. I can't remember what we're doing, right? Because I'm not even sure how it came up, because I don't think the original topic was about Sufi, but somehow the Sufis came up, right? And we're talking about the levels of Sufis. So some Sufis, there's, like it's like anything else. You have different levels. So some Sufis are normal. They're just making dhikr or whatever. But there's some Sufis that are extreme, right? And they want to be worshiping the graves and stuff like that. They want to go worship people in the graves and stuff, When I was a Christian, wallahi, I never worshiped anybody in no grave. Never. And even if you asked a Christian to worship somebody in a grave, they'd be like, bombastic side-eye, None of us are fitting to worship nobody in no graves nowhere, even as a Christian. Okay? So the topic came up, and this card-carrying leader of the anti-Wahhabi coalition of Negroes, he sends me a super chat. Thanks for the money, by the way. Why can't y'all send me more super chats like this card-carrying member of the anti-Wahhabi coalition of Negroes? Why can't y'all, I gotta be out here doing all the work, and you can't even send me no super chats like this dude. Anyways, I digress. So we super chat. So we're saying that, worshiping a grave is shirk. And he's like, define shirk. And I'm like, I didn't say Negro, please. I'm like, anti-Wahhabi Negro, please. I didn't say that. I was thinking in my head. I didn't actually say that. I was like, anti-Wahhabi Negro, please. If you're out here going to argue with me whether or not worshiping some dude at a grave is shirk, then the problem's not me, the problem is you. For Sufis, you gotta understand, for Sufis, nothing is shirk except for Tawheed. You didn't catch that, did you? You didn't catch that. I said for the Sufis, nothing is shirk except for Tawheed. You don't believe me? You think I'm tripping? You think, no, Bilal, you're being extreme. I'm not being extreme. Y'all are being extreme. I'm not the one who's being extreme. You don't believe me? Watch this, family. You think I'm tripping? I am not tripping here. 1 second, family. 1 second, y'all. Like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Patreon. One second, family. Okay? I was saying, for the Sufis, we're not talking about the regular ones that, maybe, he just wants to make dhikr a lot. He must make a lot of dhikr. Right? We're not talking about those Sufis, right? Which again, those Sufis have been dominated by the extreme Sufi. Like if you're talking Sufi nowadays, the default is extreme. It's not like normal. You know what I mean? That's the default. Okay, but I digress. When you start saying don't worship anything but Allah, don't seek intercession from anybody else except for Allah, don't worship at graves, don't write no letters to graves, don't worship the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. When you start saying that stuff, they start saying that shirk. Okay, wallahi, they speak like that. I'm not making this up. And then they have all kinds of names and epithets for you, the Wahhabis. Look, it's like they figured out how to use the word Wahhabi in every single grammatical context possible. What do you mean? They use it as a noun. That man is a Wahhabi. They use it as an adjective. This is the Wahhabi belief. They use it as a verb. He's Wahhabiing all over the place. Okay. They can't stop themselves. They cannot stop themselves. Because we're telling them not to worship their shayuk and stuff. Because we say that, and we bring Quran and we bring Sunnah to not do that. We gotta be Wahhabis now. Okay? They can't help themselves, bro. But anyways, I digress. That was a bit of a digression, right? Watch this, family.
The Trinity with the understanding that there is one God, Almighty Creator. Jesus is a perfect manifestation, and Ruhullah, meaning the Spirit of God. God says that Jesus is the Spirit of God, and his body's physical appearance possessed God's Spirit. The Holy Ghost is Gabriel, who blew that Spirit into the Blessed Mother Mary. As regard Jesus, son of Mary, being the Son of God, we are all his sons and daughters.
Did y'all catch that? We in church today. I said, we in church. I said, and the little girl, the little daughter, she came home from church one day, and she said she went under her bed, and her mama asked her, what you doing under your bed? And the little girl said, I'm looking for Andy. And the mama said, there ain't no Andy under your bed. And then the little girl went and asked her brother, where's Andy? And the brother said, there ain't no Andy in this house. And the little girl went to her sister's room. I said the little girl went to her sister's room, and the little girl asked her sister, have you seen Andy? And the sister said, I don't know no Andy. And then the little girl, she went to her father, and she said, I'm looking for Andy. And the father said, there better not be no Andy in this house, because if there is, there's about to be some trouble in this house. And the little girl started to cry, and the father said, why are you crying? Because I heard, the little girl said, because I heard the preacher said, Andy walks with me. Andy talks with me. And I'm looking for Andy. And the father said, that ain't no Andy. That's Jesus. And the preacher saying, and he walks with me. And he talks with Muslims today, family. Sorry. Sorry. And he walks with me. And he talks with me. These are the Muslims nowadays, family. We're in church. We're in church. You thought I was tripping. I'm not tripping. I know what I'm talking about, family. I am not tripping. The only shirk to these folks is Tawheed. That's it. That is it. That ain't the only one, fam. You want to see one more? 1 second, fam.
Role model for Sufis. There are many who claim that because followers of Jesus, son of Mary, believe in the Trinity, they are polytheists. Sufis, on the contrary, do not believe this. Sufis are fully aware and understand that the followers of Jesus, son of Mary, who are claimed to have started worship of three gods, in fact, do not worship three separate entities. Furthermore, they are not polytheists. They worship three manifestations of one in the same God. Jesus, son of Mary, is a role model for Sufis.
I'm not tripping. He said what he said. He said, the Sufis don't believe that the Trinity is shirk. I didn't say it. He said it. And he walks with me. And he talks with me. Well, I'm not the one saying, I'm not making this up. Am I being unjust here? Am I being unjust? The Muslims of America, family, where are the Sufis to refute this? This is the question y'all gotta ask. Are there any Sufis in the house to refute this? Remember the other day, what's his face? Ali Dawah. I'm going to say, Christ is king. Remember that? There's literally no difference between that and what we're doing in the church. So what is the incentive to become Muslim? If the Trinity is not shirk, like what's the incentive then? You know what I'm saying? Tika Harding with the super chat. Hayakumullah. Sister Tika says, Assalamu alaikum, nothing to say. Keep going. Don't do that church thing again. What do you mean? What do you mean? Don't you know the message is? We keep saying the black message is becoming the black church. This is proof. Well, what more you want? Oh man, you thought I was? I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping. This is what is being exported from South Asia into the black community, man. This stuff. I want to show you one more thing. Let me show you this, y'all. 1 second, family. Let me show you all this.
Right. So, for the viewers who are not familiar with what they're actually looking at, they are supposed to be this group of TMOAN people from the cult group known as TMOA. Their headquarters is in, I believe, Hancock, New York, and that's actually where this location is right here. And they are in the mountains, and they're supposed to be making, I guess, what they're referring to as their own tawaf, because the cult leader of this particular group notified all of us. The reason why I know all this information is because I was actually part of this group. He notified us that that brick building that you're looking at to the right was the equivalent and was on par with the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Mecca. So he told all of us that we should make tawaf around this building. You're going around it 7 times, and you're reciting what you're reciting, and you're supposed to be getting the benefits and the rewards as if you were actually making the pilgrimage to Mecca and performing Hajj. So that's what you see this group right here doing. So we'll continue, let them, I guess, get around the building or whatever.
Now, family. Family. You're saying that they have their own Hajj, right? The Nation of Islam, they have a very similar thing. Do y'all know what it's called? Somebody put it in the chat. What the Nation of Islam as pilgrimage is called. Somebody put it in the chat, please. But the Nation of Islam has a very similar thing, right? If you go to India today, there's so many similar spots for a tawaf and this type of mini Hajj and whatever. Particularly one particular spot which is very popular is called Nizamuddin. It's called Nizamuddin, right? And this is where, or Nizamuddin as they say it in the Indian accent, right? They call it Nizamuddin, but the Arabic accent is called Nizamuddin, right? This is where all the Jamaat Tabligh and Deobandis and Brahmanis and even Hindus worship there. It's very famous. Right? This is not unusual for Sufis, right? It's not unusual for Sufis. They have places even in Egypt, in Morocco, where they go and they make tawaf, particularly at graves, grave sites, and they call it like a Hajj. In Turkey, they have it. But who was the first person to do it? Exactly, Sister Tika, she got it. It's Savior's Day. The Nation of Islam, their Hajj is called Savior's Day. Who was the first person to try to have a Kaaba outside of the Kaaba? Who was the very, very first person to do it? Do y'all know who it was? They go to Chicago or Detroit. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Return to Fitra. By the way, these clips are from the brother Return to Fitra, his channel. So y'all subscribe to his channel, inshallah. Okay? But who was the very first person to try to have a Hajj outside of the Kaaba, or to try to have a place like a Kaaba outside of the Kaaba? Who was the very, very, very first person to do this? Y'all know who it was? Take a guess. Take a wild stab. Who was the very first person to try to have a Kaaba outside of the Kaaba? A place of pilgrimage outside of the inviolable house, place of pilgrimage. Who was the first person to do it? Right? We have famous ones all over the place, right? Like I said, you have Nizamuddin in India. You have places in Africa, places in Turkey, where these Sufis, they go and they do this exactly the same thing that these Americans are doing. This stuff that's happening in America is new. It is new. We were never doing this before. As a matter of fact, even now, you'd be hard pressed to convince a black Christian to worship somebody at a grave. But if you, thank you for Return to Fitra, it's Abraha al-Aslam. He was the very first person to do that. You'd be hard pressed to get a black Christian right now, try to convince them to worship some other saint at some grave somewhere. You couldn't do it. So a black Christian's Tawheed is better than these Sufis. Exactly. It was Yemen. He was trying to get its first Kaaba in Yemen. And what happened to him when he tried to do that? Allah destroyed him and mentioned him in the Quran. In Surah Al-Fil. Okay? Exactly. Allah mentioned him in the Quran in Surah Al-Fil. Okay? The chapter of the elephant. Okay? Now you have people alleging Islam, and trying to build all these Kaabas outside of the Kaaba, the real Kaaba, calling it whatever they're calling it, mini worship or whatever. Basically, in the Sunnah of Abraha al-Aslam, the destroyed, the wretched. Okay? Never, ever, ever were black folk doing this until they got taught how to do it by Sufis. They were never doing this stuff. And where are the Sufis refuting? This is the ironic thing. You see, over here, we are an equal opportunity refuter, okay? I'm a Salafi, but y'all see me blast Salafis all the time, like all the time. Because if you're wrong, you're wrong. You get me? We're fair here. But whenever I blast a Sufi, and rightfully so, like this should rightfully be blasted because this is a straight up cult. And the cultism with Sufis is a massive problem within the black community. It is a very, very big problem. These guys don't say anything. I've never in my life seen a Sufi refute another Sufi. It just don't happen. If they do, it's some sort of personal thing. You get me? And black people, we have this issue. We have to be real with ourselves. We have this problem where we fall into cults all the time. There's no shortage of them. And now the Sufis are bringing the cults right into the hood like this stuff. This is crazy, man. If you're going to blast the nation for the Shirk, somebody needs to explain to me the difference between the Shirk of the nation, who are saying that they worship Master Farad Muhammad. They say that with their own mouth. You just heard it. And the Shirk of the Muslims of America, who are saying that Sheikh Mubarak Ali Shah Jilani is a medium between them and Allah. Somebody need to explain the difference between this Shirk and that Shirk. And wherever there's Shirk, other things come with the Shirk ideology. Massive, massive injustice. Massive corruption. And other things. We mentioned about spirituality. Again, when black folks, you see all these black people running towards black spirituality and African spirituality. Like I said, spirituality is code word for magic. It's code word for sorcery. It's code word for witchcraft. It's how black folks say Wicca. That's all it is. What about this stuff? Where you put your entire life in the hands of a single person so they can have total autonomy over your wealth, over your property, and even over your women. You know, the brother, what's that channel, man? He did a really good video the other day. It's not Middle Path. It's a middle, not, I can't remember. Anyways, it'll come to me. Anyways, he did an awesome video the other day about talking about the homoerotic elements within Sufism, right? And how they're there's this because I was saying it on the channel all the time. You know, the Sufis, man, whenever they speak, they really like really effeminate. I said it all the time. I wasn't understanding why they like that though. I didn't get it. But he broke it down, right? When you hear how they speak about Allah and stuff in this very, very homoerotic way, you know, the lovers of Allah and Allah is my lover and all this is just some weird stuff that they be saying all the time. It sounds like, right? He was breaking it down, and when you start speaking like that, it's there's a spiritual and psychological element behind that, which ushers in a level of control over your subjects that is not normal. You get it? So Sufis, they have this way of speaking, right? Like they'd have this way of speaking, talk about the Murids and the saints, and you know what I mean? In order to be a saint, you have to be a Murid, and you have to do whatever the saint says, and blah, 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 blah. And the saint has absolute and total control over every aspect of your life, including marriage, including autonomy over your own body, what's alleged spiritual practices you have to make, and these type of things. You get me? It's just some weird stuff, bro. It's very, very weird. You know? But it's not just the Sufis, okay? It's a quirk or like some weird thing that black people have to fall into cults. Look at whatchamacallit? What's his name? Jesse Jones? His name Jesse Jones? I can't remember his name. The one in Guyana. Is his name Jesse Jones? Somebody put it in the chat, please. Right? The one who made all those 400 black folk drink the Kool-Aid, where we got that statement that's etched into the echelons of time now. Oh, he drank the Kool-Aid. And 400 black people got to die because they believed that this white man was God. Look at, in my humble opinion, the most prolific cult leader in history in Dwight York, at least in American history anyways. The absolute most prolific cult leader in at least in American history, Dwight York. And the amount of cults that he started, and they're still going up until this day because he started them. He started the Ansar cult. He started what you know as the Hotep cult. He started what we know as the indigenous cult, the Yamasi tribe. He started all of these things. He started the whatchamacallit, the We Are the Aliens, the aliens cult. All these things are still, they survived him being the most prolific child molester in history, in human recorded history. Dwight York. The single most prolific child molester in recorded human history. Jim Jones, thank you, Abu Ziyad. Hayakumullah. It's Jim Jones, yeah. Him. We got a problem, family. And if Sufis are starting off like this, or doing things that we never done before, knowing things that we know was wrong in Christianity, but when we become Muslim, become Sufi, all of a sudden becomes right, you know it's a problem. You know it's a problem. But anyways, family, Jazakumullah khair. May Allah reward you and bless you all. If you haven't done the super chat, please buy me a coffee. You can use the buy me coffee link is in the description as well. You can support the channel on PayPal as well, and it's through Patreon, right? And I know I was supposed to see you guys last week, but again, like I was just really busy nowadays, right? Because of the kids and stuff. So I really apologize. You know, my son is getting ready to do his second year of college. Alhamdulillah, my daughter is getting ready to go to university, and my other daughter is doing teachers. And it's just really busy right now, right? So I apologize for all that, right? But so you can support the channel again on PayPal, on Patreon, on Buy Me a Coffee if you haven't purchased the super chats. And I will see you guys tomorrow, inshallah. Like, subscribe, share, and free the land.